Hello, all, and welcome to this assembly. Today I'll be talking about climate change and what you can do about it. First of all, what is climate change? Climate change is the human driven global warming and the effects that it has on global weather. It is normally a natural thing, but since the Industrial Revolution in 1760s, it has been significantly progressed by human actions. Greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, air, water, and normal pollution all have led to this global warming of climate. Now, how does climate change affect the world? The effects of climate change may not have seemed drastic because of how slowly it progressed historically, but in the modern day, drastic effects are destined to happen if we don't do anything about climate change. The global temperature is rising, which is largely due to the increased greenhouse gas emissions that humans have been producing, and this increase in temperature is leading to more frequent and more violent natural disasters such as hurricanes. The global temperature increase is also leading to extinctions of many wildlife species that rely on cooler temperatures. The temperature of the oceans is also increasing, which can lead to the death of many aquatic organisms and the disorientation of the entire global food market. Polar ice caps are also melting and shrinking at record rates, which leads to more warming because less sunlight can be reflected off those ice caps and is now being absorbed by the ocean. The sea levels are rising yearly, which can lead to whole islands being on the verge of submerging, like the Maldives. The oceans are becoming more acidic as well, which can lead to increased death of aquatic life and bleaching of coral reefs that has already been seen globally. Now, you might be thinking this is a problem, but so far it hasn't done much to affect you, only other organisms. But climate change, if left unchecked, will lead to more forest fires in vulnerable areas, more droughts, more flooding on the coasts, and increased frequency of strong storms and increased devastation of these storms. Those are only just effects of climate change. Human actions that are contributing to climate change also hurt you as well as progressing climate change. Increased pollution leads to more cancer-causing agents being produced and left in the environment, and it leads to less available clean drinking water. Now that I've scared you enough about climate change and its effects on the world and you, I would also like to talk about what you can do to stop these things from happening. One of the easiest things is to reduce, reuse, and recycle. You've most likely been fed this information before, but I'm going to emphasize it again because of how important it is. If you use less, you produce less waste, and if you use the waste to your advantage, such as composting or reusing, it is even better. Recycling is also a very good way to leave less waste to be put into landfills or possibly other places where it is not meant to be dumped. Another thing you can do is public or pedestrian transportation. Decreasing the carbon emission of each individual is not only good for the planet, it is also good for your wallet because you will spend less on gas. One of the most important things you can do, though, is talk about climate change. After this presentation, you will most likely go about your day like everyone else and not think about climate change until it is brought up as a problem again. So the best thing you can do is make it an everyday issue. The more everyone thinks and talks about climate change and the negative effects it will have on the future, the more everyone will be willing to do something about it. So far, we have been doing a pretty good job in slowing climate change, but there's much more work needed to be done if we want to save this planet and all the living things on it. It may seem like too big of a task, but all the little things that you can and will do will have a much bigger impact than you believe. Thank you for listening, and I hope you take this as a challenge to make the world a better place.